Hey everybody, it's prep week. Woohoo! Welcome to our practice DBQ for AP World History Modern. My name is Mason Logereau, coming to you from Pflugerville, Texas, in the Austin area. All right, so if you haven't been watching over the last several weeks, we have pretty much gone through all the skills and content that you need to know for the AP test. And this week, we're going to be doing a little practice with this DBQ. So today, during this video, you at home are going to be writing a DBQ. And then tomorrow, I will be back with y'all. We're going to go over possible responses that you could have written, because of course, there are many things that you could write about in this DBQ. And I'm going to be joined by two special guests tomorrow, who are the chief reader and assistant chief reader at the reading. They are kind of like the experts in all the grading of the DBQ, and they're going to walk through it with me to help y'all out. So we're going to do that today and tomorrow. Wednesday, don't forget, Mr. Smith will be here to do another DBQ with you. And then on Thursday, he's going to go over it with the chief reader and assistant chief reader for y'all. So we got a lot planned for this week. Should be a good time. All right, before we start though, I know there's been a lot of information given to you about how the website's going to work for the test. There's been a lot of questions as well, but I want to go over a couple of things with you that you absolutely need to know. And that is the most important thing. Once you've written your DBQ, how do you turn it in? And that's a good question. All right, you basically got three ways that you can do it. The first is if you're on a laptop or a desktop, you can type your answer, your whole essay, into something like Google Docs or Microsoft Word. And then when you're finished and when you're ready to submit it, you can simply just copy and paste it into the College Board website. If I'm being honest, I think this is probably the easiest route to do it. If I were you and you have access to a laptop or desktop, I think this is what you're going to want to do, especially for a DBQ, because remember, you're going to have to be reading over 5 documents. That's going to be tough to do on something like a tablet or a phone. So this, I think, is probably your best approach, because also remember, you can only log in to the test with one device. So if you're going to read the documents on your laptop, that's where you have to submit your answers. But I think if you have one window open with the test and a window open with Google Doc or Microsoft Word, that's going to work out great for you. All right, your second option, similar if you're on a laptop or a desktop, and that is you've got your window open with the exam, you got your window open with Word or Google Docs, and then when you're finished, saving it as a document file, and then there'll be an option to upload it on the College Board test site. So you can do it that way if you want, although honestly, I think it's just easier to copy and paste, but hey, if you want to do this, go for it, okay? Your third option, you are allowed to handwrite this essay. So if you feel like, hey, I'm better at writing than actually typing out an essay, you're welcome to write this out on paper and pen. If you do that though, when you're ready to upload it, you're actually going to take pictures of your paper with your phone and then upload those to the site. Now, I guess, theoretically, if you're using a laptop and you want to write it, I guess you could put your paper up to the camera like this and take a picture of it. I just feel like that's going to get kind of, a little confusing, hard to do, but if it works for you, just be careful because the pictures need to be in JPEG file format. Some people I know have been trying to use PDF and that hasn't really worked very well. So make sure that you're doing JPEGs. Also, if you're going to do that on paper, at the top of each piece of paper, you need to have your AP ID, which by the way, there's been some confusion. I'm not talking about like your school ID. I'm talking about the ID that you got from the College Board. And if you need help finding that, you can find that on My AP. You can also talk to your teacher about it. But on the top of each paper, you need to put your AP ID as well as your initials. Don't put your full name, just put your initials and the page number on the top of each piece of paper. You can do that before you start the test. You can use up to 6 pieces of paper, or sorry, 5 pieces of paper. So get out 5 pieces of paper, put your initials and AP ID at the top, do all that before you start the test, okay? Now, when you submit it, and you're gonna see this on the demo site that we're gonna talk about at the end, You have to either attach the files, like we said, if you do that, or you have to copy and paste it into the window, and then you hit submit. You have got to hit submit before the timer runs out. Now, you know that you have 45 minutes to write the DBQ and 5 minutes to submit it. So for all you math whizzes out there, you know that's actually 50 minutes total. After 50 minutes, that's it. If you've not submitted it after 50 minutes, that is it, okay? But make sure you're paying very special attention to the timer, because the timer, in fact, I'm going to show you this today, is going to start at 50 minutes, which means that you must finish writing and hit submit on whatever you've uploaded by the time that timer is down. Once that timer gets to 0, you don't get an extra 5 minutes. So be very, very careful with the timing, okay? Now, if something does go wrong on the day of the test, let's say your internet goes out, something happens to your computer, it crashes, it turns off, what have you. There is a website right here, cb.org/request makeup. You need to go to that day and submit a ticket to let them know what happened, and then you'll be able to do the makeup test in June. Okay, but you've got to let the College Board know that something went wrong that day or the day after. Okay, I'm about to give you the DBQ topic, but right now you need to make sure that you have paper available, or that you have opened up a Google Doc window or a Microsoft Word window, or however you're going to type it, okay? Now, if you're still kind of unsure on like, hey, do I want to handwrite this? Do I want to type it? Well, the good news is today is practice. So try it one way today. Wednesday, when Smith comes on, try it the other way and see what works best for you. But again, my personal feeling is I would like to copy and paste it, but that's also because I'm an old man who doesn't like to read a bunch of documents on his phone. Some of you are, much better at that, and you're fine with using a phone and taking pictures. So it is completely up to you. Try it one way today, try it a different way on Wednesday, and then see what you like better. But if you don't have paper, if you don't have those windows open, go ahead and do that now. Pause the video if you need, and I'll be right here waiting for you when you get back. All right, so where do you find the DBQ? Well, for today, first off, here's your prompt right here. You can read that there. But if you're looking for the documents, go to this site right here, tinyurl.com/apwh sample questions, or down in the video link, or down the link right by the video description right below me, there's a link there, and you can find the DBQ there. So go ahead and take a second, pause me if you need, make sure you can pull up the DBQ. Don't start looking at it yet, because that's like cheating and stuff. And my computer just froze on me again, and I don't know why. So give me a second, because I'm going to start the timer any second now as my computer continues to freeze. All right, but again, don't look at the DBQ yet. Guys, I apologize. I don't know what's happening here with my computer, but I've got a black screen right now and nothing is popping up. I'm really, really sorry about this, guys. Hold on if y'all can hear me right now. Okay, well, while I'm trying to figure out what is going on here, a couple of things. One, like I said, you're gonna have 45 minutes to read, which is shorter than your average DBQ, because I think during the year you've probably been practicing for about 60 minutes. I'm gonna suggest that you spend about 10 minutes reading over the documents, analyzing them, figuring out what you're gonna write about, and then probably about 35 minutes of writing. Now, your teacher might have different suggestions. That is only a suggestion. You don't have to follow that. There's not a set rule of like you must read for 10 minutes. But plan on doing that. And while we're still trying to figure this out, remember you need to go to tinyurl.com/APWH sample questions. So tinyurl.com/APWH sample questions. All right, everybody, keep working. I am back. I apologize so much for those technical difficulties, but at this point, you should have been reading the documents for the last 10 minutes, so you might want to start moving on to writing the actual essay. All right, keep working, but you have about 20 minutes before you begin to upload your answer. You have 10 minutes left to write before we begin to upload your essay. All right, 1 minute left. All right, everybody, it's time to stop writing because if you noticed, the timer turned red. Ooh, and when red numbers and letters appear, that's never a good thing. But it is time to finish writing. It is time to begin to upload your document. This is the same type of timer you're going to see on the AP test, where when it hits 5 minutes, it's going to turn red to warn you that you need to upload it. Because remember, if you do not upload it before the timer hits 0, then you will not have a scored test. Okay, they're not going to accept anything that is not submitted after the timer hits 0. So be very, very careful and make sure you get it submitted. Remember also that if you have technical difficulties during the test, like your screen goes black and you can't figure out what happened, like happened to me 45 minutes ago, that's fine. You can submit a ticket and you can take the test in June. But if you just forgot to, or ran out of time and didn't submit it before the timer went down, that is not an excuse. You're not going to be able to get that late test in June. So be very, very careful of the timer. Also remember, especially in this DBQ rubric, as we've talked about before, you don't have to have the perfect, most beautiful, amazing essay. It's all about getting as many points out of 10 as you can get. And, to be honest, a lot of times, even in my own class, I'll see students writing at the very last second. That's not always going to get you that extra point. Okay. You need to make sure you submit it before the time goes down. Otherwise, you're going to get a 0 out of 10, and that's not going to, be good for anybody. So just be very, very careful with it. Now, you have finished up. So good job. Hopefully your hand doesn't hurt too badly. Like I was saying at the beginning, y'all kind of practice and see what works best for you. If you typed it today, then maybe on Wednesday with Smith, you try and write it by hand. On the other hand, if you wrote it by hand today and you feel like, man, that was really hard, it's gonna be hard to take pictures, then maybe you want to figure out a way to type it. But either way, if you have not gone to the demo site, which is right here in number 2, cb.org/AP demo, I would highly suggest that you actually do that right now. In fact, you have just written an essay. Go to the demo site and upload what you just wrote and make sure that it gets accepted. It should, if you follow the directions that we talked about at the beginning, but it would be a good thing to check out right now if you haven't. Now, keep in mind, if you upload this essay you just wrote right now, no one's going to read that. They don't send that to me. They don't send it to Smith. No one's going to see what you wrote. And in fact, they're not going to send it to your teacher either. Because I don't know about y'all, but some teachers I know are assigning this as homework, this DBQ you just wrote. In fact, for me, I assign this to my students. So, hey, Pflugerville Panthers, don't forget this was your assignment today, and you need to submit it to me through Google Classroom. But the point is that if your teacher asked you to submit it, going through this demo site is not going to send it to your teacher. You still need to send it to them, however they told you to do that. All right, so we are about finished for today. Don't forget that tomorrow I will be back with a couple of guests and we will run through this essay. We'll talk about all the points of the rubric, possible answers you could have had, what works, what maybe needs to be improved on, things like that. So make sure you're back here at the same time tomorrow. Y'all have a good night and I'll see you then. Bye.